everybody, to the Superhumanistic podcast, where we talk about all things health, wellness, and longevity. Thank you for joining us today. We are your hosts. I'm David.
I'm Jessica.
Make sure that you hit that follow and subscribe button on this podcast so you never miss another episode. We put out one episode a week. Check us out on YouTube and Instagram for additional content. And don't forget to share this podcast with someone that you love that could benefit from these health and wellness tips. Last week, we talked about somatics. So if you want to learn more about how the body keeps score of those trauma and stressors and ways to alleviate that so you can live longer, go back and listen to last week's episode. This week, we are going to be talking about
the vagus nerve. Right. So our vagus nerve, very on topic with the somatics from last week. Our vagus nerve is known to be that air traffic controller of our internal organs. If we're not talking to our nerve, then we're it's like missing the remote control for our own stress levels.
Yeah, this has gone from one of those kind of niche biologies to a full-term wellness obsession. A lot of trends about it on social media and things like that, but there's actually some hardcore science behind it. So we're going to talk about how you can actually change how you feel in 60 seconds or less.
Yes. So we are going to get into...
I can kind of... Continue on with a little bit of information. Basically, when it comes to this, for the uninitiated, where is this thing? Is this thing in the brain? Is it like in the gut? Or...
Right. So just like our somatics, where it controls our whole body, it's actually both the brain and gut together. So instead of, like we talked about last week, where we always have thought of ourselves as working from top, like if we think it, then our whole body will rest, like top down. Really, we're working at the inner with somatics, like from down to up. So releasing the muscles. So actually, the vagus is Latin for wandering, and it starts at the brainstem and wanders all the way down through the neck. So starting at the stem throughout the neck, and then into the chest, the abdomen, and its main component of the parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, so that sounds like the rest and digest system, basically. And I know I can experience that when I meditate. Sometimes when I can feel my body relaxing, my stomach starts to make noise as it also relaxes and adjusts.
Exactly. So think of the vagus nerve as a bi-directional superhighway. It's constantly reporting back to our brains on how our heart, lungs, and gut are actually doing. And if your vagal tone is high, then it bounces back from that stress quickly. If it's low, then we feel stuck or like we're in a loop of anxiety or exhaustion.
All right, let's jump right into section two, where we're going to give you tools and some practical hacks when it comes to implementing this into your life for that superhumanistic toolkit. So we've gathered the most effective science-backed ways to really tone this nerve as if you're toning your biceps. So what's the first one that we want to explain?
We talked about this in past episodes, but it's coming up again. This is how important it is. It actually starts with some cold exposure. You don't need to go out and buy a fancy $5,000 cold plunge, whatever they have now, or cryotherapy chamber. Even if we just splash ice water on our face for 30 seconds, maybe I've seen other people doing this as well. They get a bucket of cold water, they put some ice in it, and then they dunk their face into it in the morning. It's just 30 seconds. Even 30 seconds of that cold exposure onto your face triggers the diving reflex.
I know we like to do, or at least I still do it, cold showers and not the whole thing. So I'll start off with the shower being warm, and then for the last 3 to 4 minutes, turn that all the way to cold and feel that cold water shock your body. And when you're doing that, that's essentially decreasing your heart rate, and it's also increasing the activity when it comes to that vagus nerve. So it's like a cold start for your nervous system.
Right. So next up is something surprisingly simple. It's vocal resonance or humming. So it could be humming, chanting, or even loud singing. Because our vagus nerve passes right by the vocal cords and the muscles in the back of the throat, the vibration physically stimulates our nerve.
Guess that explains why people love that car karaoke segment on YouTube so much. It's basically, that's kind of what you're doing there. You're biologically tuning at that point.
Right. All right. And then we have
Part 3.
Yep.
So part 3 is the eyes have it. So I found this one fascinating in the research, the connection between eye movement and the vagus nerve.
This actually, like thinking back to some of my therapy sessions, I did what was called EDMR, where it has that rapid eye movement built into the session so that you're overriding those negative thoughts or something that was a bad experience with more positive light to it. This is a basic exercise from Stanley Rosenberg's work. You lie on your back, interlace your fingers behind your head, and without turning your head, look as far to the right as you're able to. Just your eyes, not turning your head.
And you hold that until you feel something spontaneous, whether that be a yawn, a sigh, or a swallow. So, yeah.
The yawn. So anytime that we're yawning as well, and I know that there are moments that I'm yawning throughout my day and don't even realize, or not that I don't realize, obviously I realize I yawn, but don't really feel as if I'm tired. So yawning actually is another way that we release or get a vagal release. It's your nervous system shifting from scanning for danger to now like, I'm safe. So like it's getting into the relax mode, which makes sense, right? Like typically we're like, oh, are you tired when you yawn? It's actually your body telling us like, no, I'm relaxed. I'm in a state that I'm good. So if you do it right, then you do it to the left, and it's this literal neurological reset button. So you go to the right with your eyes, not turning your head, to the left with your eyes, and then soon you'll experience some sort of like yawn or something, and it releases our nerve.
All right, well, let's jump into section 4, which is that 2026 perspective. Guys, what I love about this is there's zero cost for this in a world where we're sold gadgets for everything, and I'm sure everybody knows those prices out there are just going up and up. So the vagus nerve is a built-in feature we just forgot how to use.
Yeah, it's our core of really being superhumanistic. It's not about adding more technology to our lives. It's about mastering the tech that we are actually born with.
Yeah, a low vagal tone is actually linked to inflammation, poor gut health, and brain fog. So by doing these small hacks daily, you're not just relaxing, you are actually strengthening your biological resilience.
All right, so the point in the show where we are going to give you an assignment for next week or for this week leading into next week. So your homework for this week is that the next time that you feel a spike of stress or that like your nerves, right, the tension that you get, maybe you're sitting in traffic or like you're just about to go into a high intense meeting, try a humming technique or the eye reset.
All right, we'll see if you can force that yawn. It's your body's way of saying that I've got this. So thank you for joining us this week. Make sure that you follow this podcast so you never miss another episode, and share it with someone that you love if you found value in this, so that way they can be healthier and happier as well. Check us out on YouTube and Instagram, and go out there and be more superhumanistic. We'll see you next time.
Bye.